We got one of those good news, bad news stories. So let me start with the good news. This says Biden will withdraw all U.S. forces from Afghanistan by September 11th, 2021. So they had negotiated a deal with the Taliban, the Trump administration did, to withdraw by May 1st. You know, Trump said multiple times that he would withdraw from Afghanistan. He never did it. Then he would go on Twitter and complain about, the generals and, all these other people, even though he's the commander in chief. And if he wanted to unilaterally do that, he could. So he knows a lot of hollow words. So right here it says, let's see. So the decision which Biden expects to announce on Wednesday will keep thousands of U.S. forces in the country beyond the May 1st exit deadline. Let me make this bigger for y'all. That the Trump administration negotiated last year with the Taliban, according to a senior administration official who briefed reporters Tuesday under rules of anonymity. Wow, it's a tough word to say. Said by the White House. Okay. So officially, there are 2,500 U.S. troops in Afghanistan, although the number fluctuates. Biden's decision comes after an administration review of U.S. options in Afghanistan, where U.S. midwife peace talks have failed to advance as hoped, and the Taliban remains a potent force despite 2 decades of effort by the United States to defeat the militants and establish stable democratic governance. It was more because they had trillions of dollars worth of rare earth minerals. It wasn't to establish some type of democracy. That's what they'll say, but it was for, those trillions of dollars in rare earth mineral wealth. That's the real reason we were there. And so they continue saying this is the immediate practical reality that our policy review discovered. I mean, any sane person could have told you that you can stay there for 10, 20, 30 more years. You're not going to get anything done there. So we should have been out of there a long time ago. The fact that we've been there 20 years is unbelievable. Is ridiculous. We spent trillions. The war has cost trillions of dollars. Trillions. Where did that money go? It didn't go to our healthcare system. It didn't go to our roads, our infrastructure. We all know this. So that's the good news. Now, what's the bad news? Well, the bad news is this is the guy we have to rely on. This is the guy we have to rely on. In 2012, this is what he was saying. Biden on Afghanistan. We are leaving in 2014, period. So the bad news is Joe Biden's a liar. Joe Biden lies just like Trump would lie all the time. Joe Biden lies all the time. So what I would say about this is I'll see it or I believe it when I see it. And that's how we have to approach these issues. That's how we have to approach things with politicians like Joe Biden, like Donald Trump, like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these politicians, progressives in the House. This is how you have to approach politicians. Don't expect they're lying when they tell you something, especially if it's something that's right and just and should happen. Legislation that should be passed. When it's something regarding that's going to be advantageous for us as normal people and disadvantageous for corporations, defense contractors, the people that have the money and power, assume they're lying until they prove they're not. And I can confidently say that because time after time after time, they are lying. Just like Joe Biden in 2012 when he said we're leaving in 2014, period. So that's the bad news. So at least he's saying it. At least he's signaling that we're going to be getting out of Afghanistan, even though he's ramping up tensions with Venezuela, Russia, Iran, China, just increased the military budget from the Donald Trump era. And even if you argue, oh, well, because of inflation, it's actually staying the same. Well, it's still $150 billion more than under Obama. And I thought Trump was crazy and an idiot and he couldn't be trusted with anything. But he ramped up the military budget by $150 billion and Joe Biden's going to keep it the same. He's not going to reduce it. Okay. Because he believes in the same shit that Donald Trump believed in, and that's being a neocon war hawk and ramping up tensions around the world with every other country instead of being like, okay, let's actually work together. There's a lot of issues facing the planet right now. There's a lot of issues facing all of our countries. Let's work together and try and advance the interests of the globe. No. He can't stand to do that. We can't do that. We have to make sure we have 1,000 military bases around the world. We spend over $750 billion on the military while people live under bridges, while people can't afford their food, while people can't afford their insulin, people can't afford their EpiPens. We allow corporations to run rampant. They pay no taxes. The rich can write off everything in taxes. You're paying more as a minimum wage worker, percentage-wise, in taxes than Jeff Bezos, than Warren Buffett, than corporations like Netflix, Amazon, Zoom. So I'll believe it when I see it. These people lie for a living. That's pretty much what you have to do to become a politician, and definitely what you have to do to become the president of the United States. So good news, bad news there. Good news, bad news, and we'll make sure we're going to cover this story through the duration to make sure we actually leave Afghanistan like we should have done, or we obviously never should have went there in the first place. But like we should have been out of there a long time ago. And like I said, we should have never been there in the first place, trying to nation build and extracting resources and wealth from their country. So, like I said, I'll believe it when I see it.